Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Satra and this is your favorite show, Daily Calls, that addresses all your stock-related queries on this show. In case you're here for the first time, well, the WhatsApp number is flashing on your screens. Don't forget to send in all your questions that top market experts can guide you through on the show. Don't forget to also mention your name, your contact details and your location as well soon as you send in your questions. Along with this, you can also use the YouTube platform where you're watching our show live on and send your questions in the comments section. Let me now introduce to you our top guest who's joined in, Mr. Jay Thakkar. He's the Head Derivatives and Quant Research Vice President at ICICI Securities. Warm welcome to you, Jay. And so good to have you with us after a long haul. Tell us what have you assessed in the markets in the interim? We've gone through a 5-6 weeks of a correction, consolidation, and we are seeing some bounces return on the D Street. And we are closing on the end of 2024. What's the sense that you have on the markets?
So, very good afternoon to you, Sakshi. Thanks for having me on your show today. And I would say that, this year definitely has been very interesting. Reason is that last December, if you know, there was state elections outcome, quite important then. And, post that we saw a massive rally in the Indian indices across the board. And, I think there was a lot of money also pumped in by the FIs at that point of time. Post that, we had this, interim budget, and then we had, Lok Sabha elections. So that kind of, a volatile moment. Then wherein we had seen the downtake and then quick recovery. There was just one day of, I would say, downtake or downtrend, and then after market recovered very quickly. However, since then, FIs have been most of the time sellers, and we did see that in October, November. The sell-off kind of increased, and we saw in past 2 months the selling was more than 1 lakh crore. In fact, more than even 1.2 lakh crores. So that's the selling which we witnessed, and then finally we have seen a bounce back. But then finally ending the year on a positive note, year on year positive gains, right, Sakshi? So that's what is happening. Now, if we look at the last or recent move from which we try to deduce where the markets are right now, Sakshi. So Nifty had fallen by almost 11.5%. There was 3,000 points from the top. Bank Nifty had fallen by almost 4.5, 5,000 points. But it was down only by 7.5%. That point of time, Nifty IT was down by only 2.5%. And Nifty Pharma was down by 9%. So these were the three indices: Nifty IT, Nifty Bank, Nifty Pharma, Healthcare, you say, which outperformed the Nifty. They all were in single digit fall, whereas Nifty was 11.5%. Which are the sectors which actually underperformed Nifty? Or Nifty Auto, 18% down then. Oil and gas sector, 22.5% down then. And Nifty Realty and Metals, 15 to 16% down then. So Nifty was, in fact, I would say, Sakshi, divided into two parts. Okay, 50% of the weightage of Nifty is Nifty IT and Nifty Bank. That was outperforming. Probably healthcare, 60% of the Nifty was outperforming. 40% of the Nifty was underperforming. That's still the case. You see, Bank Nifty has recovered. That's still looking positive. Nifty IT lifetime high. That's in fact positive here as compared to Nifty. Healthcare, pharma, not much of a move. So I would say that from here on, if Nifty has to move higher, there has to be a support coming from metals, which has started to bounce back. Auto, which has yet not bounced back, and oil and gas sector, which has yet not bounced back completely, because Reliance Industries has around 60% weightage in Nifty oil and gas sector. So that's not moving. So infra is moving, L&T is moving, but then oil and gas and auto, these two are the major sectors which are not actually bouncing back quite a lot. And if that bounces, it will help Nifty to further move higher from these levels. Else, we have to rely much on banking and IT and probably on pharma.
Okay. Jay, we have a lot of questions coming in, so we'll straight away dive into our viewers' questions. Moria from Bengaluru writes in, he says, I've bought M&M call option of 3,100 for December 26 at 96 odd levels. Should I hold or add more? What would you advise here on Mahindra & Mahindra?
Well, as I said, Sakshi, that auto has not performed quite well and a bounce out that is expected. But then M&M has been performing the Nifty Auto Index, and that is one stock clearly showing good strength. So I think one can continue holding this. On the lower side, I believe that on the spot, 3,050 is a very crucial support. Till those levels are held, one can continue riding the upward momentum in M&M.
Okay, let's take the next question then. This is from Rishikesh, he says on Adani Enterprises, I have been holding this stock at the rate of 3050. So should I hold or sell? Interesting question right there, because Adani Group has actually gone through a lot of stock news related stock hampering when we looked about the bribery case that was in the way. But a lot of clarifications happened, and some of the stocks also came back almost to the same level that existed before the US indictment had come in. Your sense now as to what should one do? Really, still a lot of buying is happening at the higher levels. 3050 is what he's been holding Adani Enterprises at. Today it's at 2455.
You are right, Sakshi. After a lot of clarification, most of the Adani names have bounced back quite sharply. I mean, but then Adani Enterprise has yet not filled that gap. So the gap is coming at around 2800. I think that if things are okay, then it would go and attempt to fill the gap. Technically, generally, this is what we say. However, it is just right at the lower end of the gap, which is 2550. 2600, that's the lower end of the gap, so that's a crucial resistance. If it manages to move beyond 26, then we'll go and fill the gap of 2800. But then I would say that the one who is invested in this stock, once the gap filling process is completed, one can consult the financial advisor and see to it that if whether to exit or not, because here as of now, technically or from the derivatives point of view, there is no indication of holding it for the medium term.
Right. Another question that's coming in from Mohit Yadav. He says, IRIDA पर सर आपका क्या व्यू है लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए, क्या अभी निवेश करना सही रहेगा? Again, IRIDA had gone down quite a lot during the correction phase. It has seen some bounces return. It's back above 220 odd levels. Your sense on IRIDA? Can it be still considered at these levels for the long term?
Well, generally, actually, I track the stocks which are there in the FNO, and lately we have seen into the FNO segment. This is a non-segment stock. However, I would like to say that, see, I would give the macro level logic that for this railway stocks is that we have seen only 40 odd percent spending by the government from its fiscal target, and still 60% is spending, and we have just 4 months to go, including December. And I think I'm expecting, since we are done with the majority of the state elections, that too last states, so there is now government has a lot of time. The Lok Sabha election is done, the Rajya Sabha election more or less is done.
Yeah.
Now they have time to spend, and where the spending is going to happen in the infra. Okay, and infra, it could be road, rails, defense, all of this. So I think yes, railways are likely to benefit, and since budget is coming now in Feb, so post budget, pre-budget, generally we see these kind of stocks coming back into the action. So yeah, I mean that is positive, something going forward.
Absolutely. And Rishikesh also mentioned, ma'am, why are railways up? So you've answered this question as well, that this is right ahead of government stepping the pedal on infra. And of course, the budget is also coming in on 1st of Feb right there. Another question that we'll take with you, this is from Vinod Chaudhary. He says, hi Sakshi ma'am, thank you so much for doing this for retail investors. Could you please suggest on Home First Finance, is the company good fundamentally and technically? Can I hold this company for 2 to 3 years? I've been having this stock, about 50 shares at 820 odd levels. Home First Finance, bought at 820, sitting on good amount of profits, 1026 currently. Do you see further returns coming in for him?
Well, this is again a non-FNO segment stocks actually, but however, I would say that technically the chart for the medium to long term is not that clear. I mean, there's a lot of noise in this chart, and that has been in the past as well. By noise, I would say that the volatility in the stock is too high day on day. So there is not a clear uptrend or a downtrend, and I would like to generally say that those stocks which are not having a clear up or downtrend, in majority of the cases, sometimes most of the stocks, or in fact, all of the stock goes through that sideways or consolidation phase actually. But this has been the case for Home First always. Hence, avoiding this kind of a stock technically is what my suggestion would be.
All right, got that. Last question that we'll take with you right there, Jay, is that on Adani Green and on JP Power, there are these two stocks that Gaurav Tyagi has written. Are these any stocks that they should be considered for the short term, Adani Green or JP Power? Anything that you'd like to suggest here?
No, I mean, the focus of the government on the renewables have been always high. I mean, and that's going to increase going forward as well. I mean, the demand for power is just increasing, and with more and more, spending on the capex, as well as by the introduction of the EVs by the auto. and focus out there of the government as well, I think the demand for power is going to grow even more, and the renewables is also going to grow more. So I think this sector overall is looking very positive, may it be Adani Green, GP Power, or whatsoever.
Okay. Another very interesting question that is coming from Vineet Kulkarni. Just wanted to bring that to you because this is an extremely long-term question. So Vineet writes in on Idea Forge, which is into making drones and it is within the defense space. He wants to invest in this stock for the next 20 years. Now we do know how this is a developing space. It's a nascent stage right now. There could be probably many more drones. We don't even know how the technology will be moving forward over the next 5. But right now the company has not been really doing very well fundamentally. Earnings have not been extremely promising. Stock prices have also been haywire as well. 638 right now. Idea Forge, what would you advise?
I agree with you, Sakshi. I mean, fundamentally, the case you've already pointed out, and I second your thoughts out there. But technically, too, I would say the stock has been in a very clear downtrend. So there is no such indication on the medium to long-term charts wherein one can say that yes, this is looking good, and one should be into it from a very long-term point of view. That's not the case with Idea for as of now.
Okay. Before letting you go, Jay, I also wanted to get a sense on your top specific stock ideas that you may have identified if you'd like to share with all our viewers. A lot of them are really looking for Christmas, New Year bets that one can really look at investing in right now. Maybe you've picked out some interesting ones?
Yeah, of course. See, I would name one stock from the metal pack, which is Vedanta. I mean, that's one of my favorite always as far as whenever metal comes into the play. This stock was consolidating within a range, or is still consolidating within a range of say 520 to 420. That's 100 points range actually, but the momentum has completely reversed, and we have seen a good F&O long build up out here as well. So Vedanta is on the verge of breaking out on the upside. It might go and test the levels of 620, 650 from the medium term point of view. So this is one stock one can keep an eye on very clearly. Second stock which I like is from a short term point of view, that's Muthoot Finance. As I said, it's actually that overall the BFSI segment has been doing good and is expected to do even better from here on. So it's trading at around 2060. I'm expecting this stock to head towards 2150 to 2200 in the short to medium term. One can place a stop loss below 1990. So here you see that this growth is absolutely well in the favor of the bulls. So from a short term point of view, it's Muthoot Finance. From the positional or medium point of view, he said Vedanta. And one should also have a look at Nifty mid-cap IT names. I mean, Nifty
Okay.
IT is trading at a lifetime high, so how could one ignore that? But among that, I think Cyient is one stock which has been consolidating since quite a long time. But now I think the probability of an upside breakout is quite high. It's trading around levels of 2083. I think going forward, it might inch towards 2400 positionally. So this is a good stock to get into from a medium term point of view as well. Short term, one can see the levels of 2200. On the lower side, I think that 1970 would be a good support. So until those levels are held, the probability of an upside is quite high. And the last one, which I would like to say, Sakshi, is again from the mid-cap IT name, and that's Emphasis. I mean, the stock is trading
Okay.
by 0.5% today, but I think it's heading towards 3450 to 3600 going forward. So that is also one strong call. That is Emphasis. Out there, the stop loss could be placed at 3070. So here too, the risk load is absolutely in favor of the bulls.
That's wonderful. You know, one of our viewers on YouTube is mentioning this. These are JK jackpot shares. We hope so. Robin, you've rightly mentioned 4 stocks right there, which Jay has mentioned. Vedanta for the medium term, Muthoot Finance for the short term, and then from the mid cap IT space, Cyient and Emphasis. JK jackpot shares आप सभी लोगों ने नोट डाउन कर लिए होंगे, उम्मीद करते हैं. और कुछ ही समय बाद जब नेक्स्ट टाइम हम जैसे बात करेंगे, एक बार फिर से रिविजिट करेंगे इन सभी स्टॉक्स के ऊपर, तो नजर रखें और डेफिनेटली अपने फाइनेंशियल एडवाइजर से भी बात करके आप निवेश कर सकते हैं इन सभी स्टॉक्स में. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया जय. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर बीइंग विद अस ऑन दिस स्पेशल एडिशन टू शेयर विद अस ऑल दोस वंडरफुल इनसाइट्स. होपिंग टू कैच यू सून ऑन अनदर एडिशन ऑफ डेली कॉल्स ऑन बिजनेस टुडे. थैंक यू सो मच.
Thank you,
ऑलराइट
sir.
व्यूअर्स,
It was a pleasure.
thank you so much. Well, we have another guest now joining right in, viewers, and that's Amar Singh, Senior Vice President Research at Angel One, to help you out with all your rest of the questions that are coming in. So, Amar ji, warm welcome. Good afternoon. बहुत सारे सवाल आ रहे हैं, पहले उनको केटर करते हैं और एक बार फिर से towards the end of the show मार्केट्स के ऊपर आपसे ओवरऑल राय लेंगे. मोना बत्रा का सवाल पहले लेते हैं अमर जी आपसे. ये पूछ रही हैं सिप्ला के ऊपर कि किस प्राइस पर इसे खरीदना चाहिए, लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए क्या ये सही स्टॉक है? अब देखा जाए तो सिप्ला में हाल फिलहाल में काफी ब्लॉक डील्स और क्यूआईपीस का प्रेशर था और उसके बाद यहाँ पर एक वॉलेटाइल मूव देखने को भी मिला। फार्मा स्टॉक्स में से अभी सिप्ला कैसा नजर आ रहा है आपको?
देखिए, ओवरऑल यदि मैं सिप्ला के बारे में बात करूं तो फार्मा स्पेस में सिप्ला इज डेफिनेटली वन ऑफ अ गुड स्टॉक्स टू हैव। बट अभी इसमें फिलहाल हमें एक करेक्शन देखने को मिल रही है और स्टॉक में 1700 लेवल से रफली अराउंड 15-20% की करेक्शन फिलहाल दिख रही है सिप्ला में। और यदि मैं लॉन्ग टर्म पर्सपेक्टिव से देखूं तो ओवरऑल जो ये सितंबर क्वार्टर भी जो रहा है वो अच्छा रहा है इन टर्म्स ऑफ प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी ग्रोथ दिखी है कंपेयर टू प्रीवियस क्वार्टर ऑफ 1305 करोड़ की ग्रोथ ये रही है प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी। और कंपनी जो स्टॉक पी में मैं देखूं तो दैट इज समवेयर अराउंड 25-26 जो पीयर्स के कंपैरिजन में कम है। तो कहीं ना कहीं एक अपॉर्चुनिटी जरूर है। तो लेकिन ये सब स्टॉक्स में एक चीज का आपको ध्यान रखना होगा कि इफ यू आर लुकिंग एट द स्टॉक लाइक सिप्ला तो आपको मीडियम टर्म टू लॉन्ग टर्म व्यू लेके चलना होगा, क्योंकि फिलहाल ये जो है एक करेक्टिव मोड में है और नीचे का जो स्तर काफी इंपॉर्टेंट क्रूशियल सपोर्ट यदि मैं जोन की बात करूं तो वो करीब 1300 से 1400 का सपोर्ट जोन है। तो वहां एक आता है तो एक बाइंग की जा सकती है, बट लॉन्ग टर्म में यू शुड बिल्ड अ पोजीशन इन दिस स्टॉक।
Okay, got that. I hope this has answered your question on Sipla. Next, हमें WhatsApp के जरिए भी बहुत सारे सवाल आ रहे हैं तो एक एक करके देखते हैं। मनीष का पहला सवाल है, ये कानपुर से है और इन्होंने पूछा है तेजस नेटवर्क के ऊपर। अमर जी 1360 पर ये होल्ड करते हैं शेयर, अगले 6 महीने के लिए होल्ड करना चाहते हैं। मीडियम टर्म में क्या नजरिया पॉजिटिव रखें तेजस पर?
तो यदि तेजस नेटवर्क की मैं बात करूं तो तेजस नेटवर्क में देखिए एक अच्छी रैली तो हमें देखने को मिली, पर फिलहाल एक कंसोलिडेशन स्टॉक में अभी दिख रहा है फ्रॉम अ टेक्निकल पर्सपेक्टिव। और यदि मैं इसे फंडामेंटली भी देखूं तो जो सितंबर क्वार्टर के जो रिजल्ट्स थे वो काफी अच्छे थे कंपेयर टू जून क्वार्टर। ऑलमोस्ट 3x ग्रोथ रही है प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी में, और जो सेल्स ग्रोथ रही है वो भी दैट आल्सो हैज बीन सिग्निफिकेंट। ऑलमोस्ट 50% से ज्यादा की ग्रोथ सेल्स ग्रोथ सितंबर क्वार्टर में रही है। तो ये इंपॉर्टेंट है कि क्या ये सस्टेन कर पाता है। स्टॉक पी की बात करूं तो वो कंपैरेटिवली ऑन द स्लाइटली ऑन द हायर साइड है, बट ओवरऑल फ्रॉम अ लॉन्ग टर्म पर्सपेक्टिव इस लेवल पे मैं निवेश की सलाह नहीं दूंगा जिसमें कोई करेक्शन आता है टुवर्ड्स
ठीक है,
1100 लेवल्स, तो वहां एक बाइंग अपॉर्चुनिटी देखी जा सकती है।
ठीक है। नेक्स्ट सत्या हमें त्रिशूर से लिखते हैं, कुड यू प्लीज हेल्प मी अंडरस्टैंड ऑन आरती इंडस्ट्रीज इफ द स्टॉक कैन बी एवरेज्ड। आई हैव बॉट दिस स्टॉक एट 606 एंड आई हैव अ व्यू ऑफ 1 to 2 years. आरती इंडस्ट्रीज फ्रॉम द स्पेशलिटी केमिकल स्पेस currently at 448, बाइंग प्राइस इज प्रीटी हाई एट 606. अमर जी लेवल?
तो देखिए, आरती इंडस्ट्रीज की मैं बात करूं तो आरती इंडस्ट्रीज में फिलहाल तो एक करेक्शन हमें देखने को मिल रहा है। और यदि मैं क्वार्टरली परफॉर्मेंस देखूं तो क्वार्टरली परफॉर्मेंस रियली हैज नॉट बीन अप टू द मार्क। इसी कारण से जो स्टॉक है उसमें एक करेक्शन हमें देखने को मिली। ऑलमोस्ट 1000 के लेवल से ये इसमें रफली अराउंड 50% की करेक्शन, मोर देन 50% की करेक्शन स्टॉक में हुई है पिछले 2-3 सालों में। बिकॉज इसने हाई बनाया था दिसंबर ऑफ 2021 क्वार्टर में ऑलमोस्ट 1020 का, फिर वहां से 422 का एक लो बना के ट्रेड कर रहा है। तो और सितंबर क्वार्टर की भी मैं प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी की बात करूं तो दैट वाज ऑलमोस्ट डाउन बाय मोर देन 60% एज कंपेयर टू द जून क्वार्टर और एज कंपेयर टू द मार्च क्वार्टर। तो कहीं ना कहीं वो एक कंसर्न रहा है, जबकि हालांकि सेल्स में वैसी गिरावट नहीं रही है, बट ओवरऑल जो है वो स्टॉक में एक सेलिंग प्रेशर दिख रही है। लोअर लेवल से इसमें यदि बाइंग अपॉर्चुनिटी बनती है तो करीब 400 के आसपास देख सकते हैं, वहां आता है तो एक बार यू कैन लुक एट इट, बट नॉट एट द करंट लेवल्स। इट इज ट्राइंग टू फॉर्म अ बेस डेफिनेटली आफ्टर द शार्प करेक्शन, बिकॉज ऑलमोस्ट 800 लेवल से 448 पे ट्रेड कर रहा है। तो कहीं ना कहीं इट्स ट्राइंग टू फॉर्म अ बेस। वो जो लॉन्ग टर्म चार्ट्स टेक्निकली है वो भी कुछ वैसे स्ट्रांग नहीं दिख रहे हैं, और फंडामेंटली भी जिस तरह के इसके नतीजे आए हैं सितंबर क्वार्टर, तो उसका भी एक असर हमें इसके शेयर प्राइस पे देखने को मिल रहा है।
ओके, गॉट दैट। चलिए यहाँ पर भी राय मिल गई है। नेक्स्ट योगदीप गुरुंग हमें लिखते हैं, हाय गुड आफ्टरनून, आई एम फ्रॉम दार्जिलिंग। स्वागत है आपका योगदीप जी। आई नीड अ व्यू ऑन जोमेटो प्लीज, माय बाइंग प्राइस इज 196। आई हैव अ लॉन्ग टर्म व्यू ऑन दिस वन। वेल कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस, आपने बहुत ही बढ़िया लेवल पर एंट्री ली है। फिलहाल 293 पर चल रहा है। देखते हैं लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए क्या जोमेटो को होल्ड करके रखें अभी योगदीप जी? अमर जी
हाँ देखिए, जोमेटो एज अ लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टमेंट आप रखना चाहते हैं तो अच्छी बात है। बिकॉज देखिए, जोमेटो हो, स्विगी हो, ये सब जो है दे हैव एन अपॉर्चुनिटी ऑफ एक्सपोनेंशियल ग्रोथ इवन एट द करंट लेवल्स। बट ये जरूर है कि वैल्यूएशंस में हमें हमेशा जो है वो दोनों साइड की मूवमेंट देखने को मिलती है। तो ऐसा ऐसा नहीं है, क्योंकि यदि आप जोमेटो की मैं बात करूं तो जोमेटो जो है वो दिसंबर क्वार्टर ऑफ 2021 में 170 ट्रेड कर रहा था, वहां से जो सितंबर ऑफ क्वार्टर ऑफ 2022 में 40 का इसमें भाव बना था, और अभी वो
ओके,
300 के आसपास ट्रेड कर रहा है। कहना मैं चाहता हूँ कि मार्केट में वोलेटिलिटी रहेगी, बट ये स्टॉक फ्रॉम अ लॉन्ग टर्म पर्सपेक्टिव जरूर आप इसे रख सकते हैं। मतलब यू कैन होल्ड एंड फॉरगेट फ्रॉम अ मे बी 3 ईयर 5 ईयर पर्सपेक्टिव, हायर साइड पर्सपेक्टिव आप इसे रख सकते हैं। देयर नो प्रॉब्लम्स विद रिगार्ड अंटिल वी सी अ ड्रामेटिक change in maybe the business dynamics or something
गॉट
जो
इट,
majorly impact करेगा, तो otherwise you can
अंडरस्टूड.
definitely.
Sure. Next, Namita Arora says, hello Sakshi, how are you doing today? Very well, Namita. Thank you for asking. I hope the same for you too. She wants to know, I have a few shares of Just Dial. I bought it at the rate of 1182. And she wants to know, could you please suggest if I can hold or even accumulate these stocks at the current levels right now? Just Dial for you, bought at 1182. यहाँ क्या suggest करेंगे?
देखिए, जस्ट डायल की मैं बात करूं तो जस्ट डायल में एक रैली के बाद एक प्रॉफिट बुकिंग देखने को मिल रही है फिलहाल। ऑलमोस्ट फ्रॉम 1400 लेवल से ये 1077 के आसपास ट्रेड कर रहा है। जो इसमें इसका इम्पोर्टेंट लेवल एक जो मैं फिलहाल देख रहा हूँ टेक्निकली, तो दैट इज समवेयर अराउंड 1000 1020 या 1050 का इम्पोर्टेंट सपोर्ट जोन है। और इसमें कोई मेजर रैली जो है वो 1150 1160 के ऊपर ही होगी, तो इसका जो इंटरमीडिएट टर्म ट्रेंड है दैट्स नॉट वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग। तो इसका मतलब क्लियर है कि द स्टॉक इज गोइंग इन फॉर कंसोलिडेशन। रिजल्ट्स भी देखूं तो क्वार्टर ऑन क्वार्टर कोई बहुत ज्यादा ग्रोथ नहीं इसमें देखी जा रही है, चाहे प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी हो, चाहे वो ये सेल्स हो। और तो उस पर्सपेक्टिव से इसे फिलहाल के लिए रखा जा सकता है। एक अपॉर्चुनिटी मिले तो एग्जिट कर सकते हैं।
चलिए ठीक है, आपको भी यहाँ राय मिल गई है. नेक्स्ट हमारे पास एक व्हाट्सएप के ज़रिए क्वेश्चन आया है, वो भी हम ले लेते हैं. और ख़ास तौर पर ये सवाल आया है गोल्डियम इंटरनेशनल पर, विजय कृष्णा का हैदराबाद से. ही वांट्स टू नो, can I buy Goldium International for long term at the current levels? Could you please suggest? Let's pull up the stock of Goldium International, currently trading at 411 odd levels. And if we pull up the long term charts also, then we will be able to see that at least in the last 5 days it's been in momentum, 11% odd. Last 1 month stock has gone up 21%, and in the last 6 months the stock has shot up 148% as well. Goldium International consistently performing. Let's look at 1 year perspective as well. 1 year also it's about 138. So large part of the move has actually come in after 5th of August when the stock was trading at 179. And the stock has been consistently moving up apart, from that level as well. Your sense on Goldium International, Amarji, what should one do?
आई वुडेंट रेकमेंड इस लेवल पे, मैं तो फ्रेश एंट्री रेकमेंड नहीं करूंगा, बिकॉज दो तीन कारण है। कंपनी को यदि मैं सेल्स भी देखूं तो कोई ये मतलब 650 के आसपास करोड़ का इसका ओवरऑल एनुअल सेल्स रहा है। और यदि मैं फॉर एग्जांपल लेटेस्ट क्वार्टर परफॉर्मेंस भी देखूं, सितंबर क्वार्टर, दैट हैज बीन मार्जिनली लोअर एज कंपेयर्ड टू जून क्वार्टर, मार्च क्वार्टर, और प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी इज आल्सो बीन आई वुड से एवरेज। तो इसमें यदि कुछ स्टॉक में, क्योंकि अभी हम लोगों ने फिलहाल एक अच्छी रैली देखी है जिसके अंदर एक्सपेक्टेशंस ये हो सकता है कि कंपनी अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस दे इस क्वार्टर में, तो दैट कुड बी वन ऑफ द रीजंस। बट एट द करंट लेवल्स आई वुडंट रेकमेंड, बिकॉज ऑलरेडी स्टॉक में एक शार्प रैली हो गई है ऑफ रफली अराउंड, यदि मैं दो 300 लेवल से 400 प्लस, तो दैट्स मोर देन 30-35% रैली, एंड दैट आल्सो हैज हैपेंड in a week to 10 days time. So I would say avoid, don't try to rush into the stock at the current levels.
ओके, गॉट दैट. चलिए यहाँ पर भी आपको राय मिल गई है. नेक्स्ट हमारे पास एक सवाल आया है श्रीनिका का. ये कहते हैं, हाय गुड आफ्टरनून मैम, आई हैव बॉट JWL, दैट्स जुपिटर वैगन्स, एट द रेट ऑफ 573. व्हाट शुड आई डू? शुड आई वेट और शुड आई एग्जिट? येट अगेन आफ्टर अ लॉन्ग हॉल, अमरजी, रेलवे स्टॉक्स आर एक्चुअली कमिंग बैक इन फ्लेवर and we are seeing some move. Even today IRFC is shot up about 6.5%. There has been a consistent move on something like maybe Thakkar Rail or maybe other stocks within the same band too. Your sense on JWL, which has been an erstwhile performer, do you think continues to be in strength after this strong move that has now started to come in the railway space?
देखिए यदि if I look at this Jupiter wagons, तो ओवरऑल एक शार्प करेक्शन हम लोगों ने देखा था इस स्टॉक में from almost 750 levels in July. And from there it made a low of almost 420. अभी एक pull back last 2 weeks से देखने को मिली. आज की भी movement काफी अच्छी है, more than 10% rally है और volume, and that is on significant volume. So ideally, if you ask me, the current level, which is around 520, 530, is a very strong zone of earlier was a resistance. तो यदि इसके ऊपर ये close करता है, then definitely you should hold on to your position. Don't exit or 540 के ऊपर अभी 550 के आसपास ट्रेड कर रहा है. 540 के आसपास सस्टेन करता है, then it has a potential to rally towards the 580, 600 levels. So I don't think you should exit your position right now. और यदि कंपनी पर्सपेक्टिव से भी देखो तो ओवरऑल परफॉर्मेंस is okay for the September quarter as compared to the June quarter. Not much growth, but still I would say you hold on to your position. और जिसके जो की पैरामीटर्स हैं वो भी ओवरऑल they are fine in terms of if I compare it with the peers. तो उसमें थोड़ा सा इसका price to earnings है वो slightly on the higher side at 64 versus average of the industry at 46, but still that's okay. बस important है 525, 530 को sustain करता है, then it can rally towards 580, 600 levels.
Okay, got that. So there you have it, the kind of move that has already come in and the view that Amarji has shared with you on JWL. Let's take the next question, and this is from Vineet, and he wants to know Geo Finance or PB Fintech or Paytm, which is the good stock for long term that he should invest in. It's an interesting one. So PB Fintech is purely into maybe insurance largely, and then loans as well. Paytm is again into digital payments and some of the other financial services also that they provide. Geo Finance is completely an NBFC with again a different kind of mode developing. Which of the three stocks would you prefer for the long term, sir?
See, if you look at Geo Finance, PB Fintech and Paytm. So Paytm has been exposed to a lot of regulatory changes at times. So it has been impacted based on that, and that is always there, hanging somewhere. Looking at PB Fintech, Policy Bazaar, I think that's definitely a good stock to look at from a long-term perspective, but that's majorly focused more on in the insurance sector. But it has got good growth. But overall, if you ask me, I would say I would look at Geo Finance because that would give a broader canvas and a broader investment opportunity because the company is venturing into different areas. So from a long-term perspective, you can definitely look at Geo Finance.
Okay, next let's take another question. This is from Jay Reddy. And he says, good afternoon, ma'am. I want to know on GVK Power. Since 2008, I have been holding this stock, 15,000 quantity and at an average price of 5.5 rupees. Presently, this company is in NCLT. Would I get any profit in this company at all or not? Jay, I can clearly see since 2008, you have locked your money in a company that's actually not at all performed. And the company is still trading below your purchase price as well. I would like to first advise all our viewers right there, first of all, to skip any kind of penny stocks in hope that you can actually buy huge quantity for less amount of money, and then probably there you have a chance of making good enough profits. That's not how markets function. Markets function on good quality stocks, fundamentally good stocks, earnings, and of course the sectorally driven factors, triggers that we see on some of the companies, the regulatory and the policy issues that also come in as well, and of course there are technical charts that can help you study. But you can clearly see from the example that Jay Reddy has he's been holding on to this stock since 2008, locking his profit in locking his money in a company which has tested patience and completely lost all that. And just imagine from 2008 to 2024, only if you would have invested in Nifty, buy an index fund, buy a Nifty ETF, just look at the kind of money that you would have made. Amarji, probably you can share some better insights on this one.
See, stocks like this, which have fallen from the, I would say, fallen from the grace, because this stock, if you look at from a long-term perspective, also has been in a secular bear market. It did rally in 2018, but that was marginal. If I go back in time, almost 17, 18 years back, the stock used to trade almost 92, 93, and then a recent high was also around 17 back. It's back in the, I would say, in the quarter of March, this year, March quarter, it was almost 17, currently it's around 5. So these are stocks which are majorly, if you look at, they are driven by certain news flows, depending upon how the debt restructuring happens or how the company is able to move back. If I look at the September quarter results in terms of the company, it shows that the net profit has increased dramatically, which was in June quarter was 5 crores, that has gone up to 811 crores, but that's a major chunk is from the other income, whereas sales have marginally increased, not marginally, but from 224 crores, they've gone up to 300 crores. So you have to understand that this is, as Sakshi also rightly pointed out, that in these stocks, you have to be very clear that the value of a stock can go down to almost zero. That while at the same time, if there is some very positive and solid developments which can bring back the company on track, then it can be a multi-bagger. So that risk is always there. So you'll have to think from that perspective as well.
Right. We have a caller with us now, Amarji. Let's go across to our next caller. Siva Prasad from Nellore City has dialed in and he's on the phone line with us. Siva Prasad, hi, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon, I'm fine, madam. Yes, madam.
I'm very well, thank you. Tell me, what's your question?
Actually, today we is new entry to the oil India, oil India, ma'am.
Okay.
Actually, maybe target price maybe yes, now.
You want to invest fresh in Oil India?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And long term?
Oil India, ma'am. Hello?
Long term? You want to invest in for long term?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Oil India, Amarji, if you could suggest, is it a good stock to invest in the long term? At the current levels, we've been seeing oil prices now stabilize after the recent geopolitical tensions have come in. OMCs are also doing well. How about Oil India?
So if you look at Oil India right now, it is in a consolidation zone because the stock had rallied towards the 750 levels or so, and then it has corrected. 734, 35 was the all-time high, and then it has corrected towards 460, 460, 462. It's trading around those levels, trying to form a bottom. If I look and see, this company is engaged in exploration, development, production of crude oil, natural gas. So that from that perspective, it's very much price sensitive with regard to, and maybe some sort of government guidelines or regulations which could come in from time to time. But this is one stock one can definitely look at from a long-term perspective and maybe accumulate on corrections. An important level to watch out for the stock is on the downside is around 450, 460. So it's clearly reaching those levels. If it sustains around those levels, then we can expect a pullback in the stock towards the 540, 550 level. Otherwise, the stock will go in for consolidation.
Okay, got that. So I hope this has also answered your question. Francis writes in, he's from Pune, and he says, I've invested in Irida at the rate of 277. Now it's come down to 224. He's incurring a loss. He wants to know, considering renewable energy prospects right there, how would you advise on Irida? Should he continue to hold or exit his position from here? It's been long since the stock has been under consolidation and corrected quite a bit from his own purchase level. What would you advise?
So see, if you look at Irida, the stock has witnessed some consolidation. Now it's trying to pull back, and the current level somewhere around 220, 225, 230, or I would say 230 to 40 is important zone of resistance. If that is taken out, then you can expect a sharp rally in the stock towards 275 to 80. Maybe then you can look at exiting the stock. If you want to hold it from a long-term perspective, because this is, I would say, more it's owned by the government of India, so it's a public financial institution also registered as a non-deposit taking NBFC. So basically, it's looking at commercialization of new and renewable sources of energy. So from that perspective, the company definitely holds potential as to that would be the focus. But one caveat is that with the Donald Trump administration coming into, how much weightage and value they'll give to
Right.
renewables is which could have an impact. So from that perspective, maybe right now you can hold your position and then exit if it sustains some of the 235 to 40 levels.
Okay, got that. Let's take the next question. This is from a caller who is with us on phone line from Andhra Pradesh. Sivanandam is with us. Sivanandam, hi, good afternoon. What's your question?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
From Andhra Pradesh, Chittoor.
Okay, welcome. Tell me, what's your question?
Madam, I want to buy one good defense stock. What is, I think, Taneja Aerospace. Some good stock to buy, madam. Taneja Aerospace.
Okay, so first up, I understood that you wanted to invest in a good stock within the defense space. Do you also have a stock which you are holding on here? Is there any other? Huh, okay. Tell me.
Aeronautics I have, but I
Okay.
want to buy less price this Taneja
Okay.
Aerospace. Is it
Sure.
good to buy, madam, at this price?
Sure. I'll ask our guest to help you out on this one. First of all, the question is on the defense space. Any affordable stock that you can recommend where he can probably invest it at the current levels? Now, he's also been holding on to one stock which I will pull up later, but let's address the defense space first.
So defense, I would say Bharat Electronics is definitely one stock one can look at. The stock had corrected, again it's witnessing a pullback. From a long-term perspective, one can also look at having a stock SIP in this stock and participate in the defense move. So this is one stock currently priced around 315. So you can do a stock SIP also, and maybe from a long-term perspective, long-term, and I'm saying at least 3 to 5 years on the lower side, and he can buy and corrections in the stock.
Okay, got that. I hope this has answered your question. The next one he is asking on Bharat Global Developers Limited. I don't know if you track that one, Amarji. Currently, the stock is at 1073. It's at a 5% circuit, and this stock has been only moving from circuit to circuit. In the past 1 month, it's up about 8%. In the last 6 months, this stock has shot up 426%. Now, if we look at the kind of move that we actually saw on June 11, it was just trading at around 200 levels. Right now, it is at 1073. Now, what Sivanandam said is that he's holding the stock at 973. So, he's bought it on the way up, and already after that 100% kind of a surge is what he has really bought it at. Now, the stock has started to pull back a bit. What is this suggestion that you would like to give? Whatever the profits are, should one save it and exit from this company, or should one stay on?
Yeah, I really don't track this company, so I'll not be able to comment much on that. But I would say that given that the stock moves in any stock which is into upper circuit and lower circuit significantly, you currently need to be cautious in that stock. So given an opportunity, you should look at exiting the stock.
Okay, got that. So that's the view. There's another question that's come in, and that is on Taneja Aerospace as well. Do you track this one, Amarji, at all? The stock is trading at 478. It's down by 1%. Do you think this one is something that he should be holding on? It's a BSE listed stock, Taneja Aerospace.
Yeah, so if you look at Taneja Aerospace, what we see here is that this stock has corrected from almost 700 levels, currently around 478. If I look at it, it's into the manufacture of components to the aviation sector. So it's very closely tied to the aviation sector. If I look at the performance of the stock, actually the sales and everything, it's very, very minimal. So if I look at the annual sales for this year, that was close to 30 crores and profitable. So it's a very small company from that perspective, but the movements have been significant from that perspective. So I would say don't enter at the current levels. If you're long, then you can hold on to your positions above 500. You can expect some rally, but not entry at the current levels is advised.
Okay, got that. Well, we'll wrap it up now, but we'll take the last question. This is from Pramod Nikam from Pune before we wrap up the trade. So, Pramod, hi, good afternoon. What's your question?
हाँ, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है मैडम, आईडीएफसी फर्स्ट बैंक के मेरे पास 600 शेयर है।
ठीक है।
उसका टारगेट लगभग मैं 2-3 साल वेट कर सकता हूँ। और कंटेनर कॉर्पोरेशन का मतलब कॉनकॉर का भी 100 शेयर है।
आईडीएफसी के किस भाव पर है आपके पास?
आईडीएफसी फर्स्ट बैंक 600 शेयर 72 रुपीज के
72 पे आपने लिया हुआ है, ठीक है।
हाँ,
और कॉनकॉर?
कॉनकॉर भी अभी मतलब 850 पे लिया है।
850 पे, ठीक है। आईडीएफसी फर्स्ट बैंक और कॉनकॉर के ऊपर बताएं अमर जी, किस तरीके से आगे बढ़ सकते हैं? करंटली होल्ड कर रहे हैं अपनी पोजीशंस दोनों पर?
तो आईडीएफसी फर्स्ट बैंक देखिए, उसमें एक ऑलमोस्ट 100 से वो स्टॉक में करेक्शन 30% के हम लोगों ने करेक्शन देखी है। अभी 65 के आसपास फिलहाल ट्रेड करता हुआ दिख रहा है। इससे लॉन्ग टर्म पर्सपेक्टिव में वो जरूर होल्ड कर सकते हैं। और दूसरा जो इन्होंने पूछा, कॉनकॉर कंटेनर कॉर्पोरेशन ऑफ इंडिया, वो करेंटली अराउंड 853 के आसपास फिलहाल ट्रेड करता हुआ दिख रहा है। तो इसमें भी वो पोजीशन बना के रख सकते हैं। ऑलरेडी एक अच्छी खासी करेक्शन हो चुकी है 1150 लेवल्स पे। इसमें एक ही लेवल है, यदि 870 880 के ऊपर सस्टेन करता है, देन यू कैन एक्सपेक्ट सम अपसाइड रैली टुवर्ड्स 900 लेवल्स, जहां इसे रेजिस्टेंस मिल सकता है। और ये सब जो स्टॉक्स है मोर और लेस, कंटेनर कॉर्पोरेशन मोर और लेस एक कंसोलिडेशन जोन में जा सकता है।
ओके, गॉट दैट। अमर जी, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हमारे सभी दर्शकों के सवालों के जवाब देने के लिए। और द व्यूअर्स ऑल्सो, थैंक यू फॉर राइटिंग इन। आई होप आवर गेस्ट्स आर एबल टू गाइड यू बेटर ऑन योर इन्वेस्टमेंट जर्नी विद डेली कॉल्स। कीप सेंडिंग इन योर क्वेश्चंस. इफ देयर आर सम क्वेश्चंस दैट couldn't be taken up today, we'll take them up tomorrow, so don't worry about it. Keep sending your questions and keep taking the advice from top market experts so that you know that you're taking the right decisions as far as your stock portfolio is concerned. We'll wrap it up at that, but do stay tuned. There's a lot more coming up on Business Today Television in terms of the D Street coverage and even in the wider world of business.
In a country known for its groundbreaking technology, Japan has yet again redefined luxury and hygiene. This is the human